Yo, what is up, guys? This is Gus for Stock Trading TV. Today we're going to recap 4 trades, 2 winning trades, 2 losing trades, and why one of these trades, the winning trade, was a really bad trade. For a total of $643 in profits for Tuesday, and that is after losses, of course, minus commissions. So the first thing I'm going to talk about here is Apple. I took a short on Apple here. And let me just go in on let me take a look at the 2-minute time frame. This was actually I had a nice trade going on this, but I ended up minimizing the gain merely because I left some shares riding and I just did not pay attention to them. So let me pop open the trades. And let's see, this is today's action. Let me take a look here. So starting with early morning, let's take a look here. We're about 11 a.m. and Apple had gapped up, sells off, tries to rebound above this. Let's see, the line in the sand here is actually I have 170, and I'm looking at this stock here as it tried to rally, immediately fails, and I like to take it I took this one just on the VWAP. And the issue here was that my original thought was I wanted to come in and short this thing on a test of 170 or even a pop through. But I'm not sure why I pulled the trigger so early. I'm still asking myself that. I let this trade go, go against me. And at that time, I realized, okay, this is where I would be shorting, so I'm not going to panic out. And so what I did is I just waited for to see if it would fail 170. Indeed, it did. And then immediately once it tried to regain that 20 SMA, that 20 period SMA, I decided to add another set. So I ended up covering down here on this wash. I left 100 shares riding. So I had a total of 600 shares. We got 300 here, 300 here. And I covered on this wash. Here, let's take a look at the 2-minute time frame so we can see a lot closer. Ended up covering here 500 shares, left 100 riding, and right around here I stopped paying attention to those 100 shares. I was just like, oh, let me just give them time. It looks like the market was rolling over. The S&P 500 was also rolling over at the time, and then as I started looking at other things, trading CRON, trading JD, and also ACB. Actually, ACB was a morning trade. I stopped paying attention to this, and there was about an extra $210 on this 100 shares that I didn't take, that I should have taken on this next washout. So this was a bad trade, number one, because I did not wait for my original planned entry. I let it go against me, but I had to manage. Sometimes you have to minimize a loss. You don't want to panic out. You need to see, you got to look at the price action, like what's going on. So don't try to guess, what the stock's going to do. The stock will show you. The candles will show you. Price action will show you. And so anyways, this stock ended up squeezing up. It came down a little bit, and then once I saw it regain, I just decided to pull out. And indeed, I pulled out just at the right time before it squeezed up even further. So on this last 100 shares, I ended up breaking even. Now moving on to CRON. Take a look here. Today's action on CRON. Take a look. This is towards the end of the day. So CRON decided to get in 2,000. It took 2,000 shares. Now what was happening at the time is CGC, Canopy Growth, started ramping right up, and so was ACB, so was APPL, which I don't touch because that thing is under certain scrutiny. That's another subject. So most of the POS stocks had just moved up with CGC, but CRON was a little bit of a laggard. Immediately took 2,000 shares as soon as I saw it popping, and it ripped up all the way to 13. I was in at 1287, and I put in a bid as it was ripping at 12.99. and I did not get that fill, so immediately it pulled back, and I decided to wait since I already had a bit of a cushion, and I decided to wait to let the market at the time was was moving up, CGC was moving up, and the other pot stocks were following suit. So I decided to give it some time. And on this dip, I decided to add another 1,000 shares. At the time, I was writing 3,000 shares, and then it moved up. And I figured it'd probably go for another test of 13, considering CGC was still going, and then it failed. It went up. It failed. It went up. And one last time, it failed. Now here in this candle, okay, more often than not, when you have a failed move, again, it's very important to remember. More often than not, the charts always tell you, the price action always tell you what you need to do. In this instance, once I saw that this break here, and let me draw the line in the sand as I always say. Once it couldn't regain, it couldn't hold, and this candle closed the way it did, it's a hammer, you knew that more than likely we were going to get, that was it. That was it for the amount of tries. So what I could have done is I could have minimized this. I could have walked away at a break even, and so I wasn't quick enough. I wanted to give it a little bit more time because CGC was still moving up, but it just didn't have enough steam left. So I decided to pull out here just before it broke to 1279, and did not look back. But the important thing is you have to cut your losses. If it didn't work out, you can't sit there and question it. And again, this could have been managed a whole lot better. This could have been avoided. This could have been a break-even trade, but it's just the name of the game. So moving on to the next trade, JD. That just didn't have anything left in it. Let me see. JD, a small loss, $50 loss. This is what I was going for. I like to see these, this was a gap up in the morning, kind of sells off slowly throughout the day, and it gets a rip, then it gets a pull to the 20 SMA. I love taking those setups. Usually you see a pop. Let me take this off real quick. So we got the gap, midday fade, and we got a ramp up, and then it starts bouncing off the 20. I like to take that, that type of trade for an afternoon run. And so it didn't pan out that way. Let's see. I only bought 1,000 shares because JD, primary trend is down. So this would be a counter trend trade, and the odds are less for a long. So I adjust with position size. And if we look here, go back to the 2-minute. I was in here. I took it I was looking at the 5-minute. I took it right at the test of the 20. It moved up, but then it stalled, moved up again. I was still confident on it. Then we got this big red candle here on 2-minute time. Once I get a 2-minute candle like that, I consider this failed. So immediately I got out with a small loss. Again, it's $50, but and then it moved further down and squeezed up, and it just kind of chopped around. Now, you might say, oh, you could have caught the run. You sold too soon or you sold too late. You don't let any trade define your next trade. You let your data tell you that. So you should be, if you're keeping track, if you have a tracker, you should be keeping track of which trades go further after you sell them, after you get out of the position, which continue to move, and for how long. And then over a series of trades, 20, 30, 40, you'll see a pattern, right? You'll know if you need to increase your hold time or if you need to reduce position size, etc. But you don't let one trade, because you don't let one single trade define what your next trade is going to be. So you sold too soon, the stock kept going. Next trade, you're going to be like, oh, maybe I'll hold a little longer, but then that profit starts coming back down. It turns into a break even, or even worse, a loss. So each trade is its own individual trade. Once the trade is closed and it's done, it's done. That's it. It goes in your tracker and you put in the data. Okay. And for the last trade, so again, a $50 loss. And the last trade was on ACB. That was early morning. Let's take a look here. I had I actually took 1,000 shares yesterday. Yeah, 1,000 shares at 569. Then morning time, near the open, I saw it form this U-shaped type of. And I usually like to get in just before, and so I added another 2,000 shares, and immediately it squeezed up, and this is where I sold it. Anytime I get. The way I like to look at it, anytime I get money handed to me by the market, I'm taking it. No questions asked. So, as you can see, right at the rip, I sold at 594. I offered it out, and where it went from there, not my business. And that's what I try to do with CRON, but unfortunately, I did not get a fill, and I kind of stalled. I should have, I should have taken at least some of that amount, but. It is what it is. The environment's very choppy. This is nothing like what it was earlier this year, January, February, March, May. It was like an ATM machine. So anyways, $418 on this trade. And so all in all, $643 after losses. And again, cannot stress enough how important it is to execute your stop losses, man. It's extremely important. You're gonna get good at being able to watch price, and you might get good at selecting the right stocks to go into your direction. But unless you're controlling those losses, you're gonna have a tough time. So, anyways, so this is today's daily recap. Maybe I'll come back tonight and I will do a watch list for tomorrow. Very, very tricky environment right now, so stay safe out there. Bring down position sizes and stick to your stop losses. Anytime you're handed money by the market to you, take it. Take it. Let your data tell you whether you should increase your hold time or not any individual trade. So anyways, guys, I'm going to sign off here today, and I will come back tomorrow and do another recap of the trading day. I have a website coming out, tradethepattern.com. I'm going to have a lot of free educational material it's going to be loaded on there, and also on Twitter you can check me out, tradethepattern.com, trade the pattern. And we'll sign off. I'm gonna leave you off with this rule. Pay attention.
Number one rule of Wall Street: nobody, I don't care if you're Warren Buffett or if you're Jimmy Buffett, nobody knows if the stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in fucking circles. Least of all stockbrokers. Right? It's all a fugazi.